when things are not going particularly well in our lives, there are usually several different things that we can do differently that can generate great outcomes for us in whatever aspects of life that are lacking or that are stuck, stagnant. And so it's up for us to self-reflect, to introspect, to do the work, the inner work, to figure out those things and actually take positive, productive action. And one of those things that could be something that is missing from your life, from my life, that is blocking the flow of, let's say, goodness into our lives, is not being brave, not acting courageously. And I'll tell you this one quote, I think it was by Terence McKenna. He said, nature loves courage. And when I heard that, it really stuck to me. It stuck to me because from my personal experience, 31 young and brief years on this plane of existence, whenever I acted truly from my heart, courageously, with the uttermost bravery that I can act with boldness, a lot, not everything, but a lot of things that I would be stuck in would be overcome. Just, I don't know how to tell you they were overcome. I don't know the mechanism, the technicality. But over a period of time, I found that the more I acted with courage, the more I acted with bravery, the more I stepped into the direction of that which scares me and felt the fear and did it anyway. Feel the fear and do it anyway. That's what courage is. Courage, bravery, is not lack of fear. On the contrary, it is feeling the fear and acting despite it. Because often when you have to act courageously and bravely, there are several things that could be going on in the background. Either the odds are stacked against you, which could scare you. Either what you're trying to overcome seems like a big, giant uphill battle, like climbing K2 mountain or something, you know? Now, I do want to put a disclaimer that sometimes you could act courageously and bravely and still eat shit. Okay? So, that could happen. So I'm just giving you a heads up here. However, it's a tendency in my experience and perhaps the experience of others. There is a tendency, and it's just that, a tendency. It's not a law, it's not even a rule of thumb, it's a tendency. There is a tendency that when a person acts in a brave, bold, courageous way, that they will be rewarded, let's say, in one way or another. In one way or another. Take, for instance, take Boromir from Lord of the Rings. Now, this is a disclaimer. If you have not seen Lord of the Rings, first of all, what are you doing? Okay, second of all, just don't watch the rest of the video if you plan on watching it anytime soon. So take Boromir, for instance. He wanted to take the ring from Frodo, but he couldn't because Frodo escaped, and he felt remorse, and he acted courageously and boldly by protecting the other hobbits. But in the process, he was slain. He was dead. He died in the process. So his reward, in my perspective, is that he redeemed himself. So acting boldly and courageously is something that is highly appreciated by nature, by the Force, by the way, by the Tao, either in this particular existence, in this particular incarnation, or in the next one. I mean, in Boromir's case, he redeemed himself. That is seen highly by the Valar. The Valar are basically like the gods in the Lord of the Rings universe. And that also will be seen highly by the God Force, by wherever. I mean, we do go somewhere after. The question is where, right? And how and when and who's in control of this whole thing and who's watching over this thing. The Buddhists call them the karma watchers, right? The watchers of karma. right? But that will be looked upon highly by those. So even if you do end up, quote unquote, eating shit, uh, believe me, nature loves that. The God force loves that. The Tao loves that. The Way loves that. The divine, the almighty divinity loves that. Well, whatever you want to call this thing, this force, Shiva, Krishna, right? The Father. It will be looked upon highly. So just putting it out there, it doesn't mean you will reap instant rewards in this particular life. Like, oh, you're scared. I mean, it can often it happens, but let's say you're scared of I don't know, you're scared of talking to your crush, and you end up talking to her, and then she just like rejects you in the most awful way possible. I mean, in that case, instant rewards denied, short-term gratification denied. But believe me, that will act in your favor in the long term. You will feel empowered just being able to face the fear and feel the fear and do it anyway. And many times we do get almost instant rewards. We overcome our fear, we step into the darkness, we overcome that which we're afraid of, and we find that on the other side is absolute bliss. Bliss not in the sense of I feel so blissful, but the sense of empowerment. That on the other side, I think on the other side of it, there's always empowerment. There's always redemption. In the case of Boromir, right? There's always redemption. If let's say you're protecting your people, your tribe, your country because of foreign invaders, and you act courageously, and there are very few people that are just fearless. Like when a Braveheart, for instance, when Gladiator, when they go out there into the battle, right? In what's his name, Wallace, the guy from Braveheart, and you don't think for a second he's not afraid. His system is probably flooded with adrenaline and stress hormones that are gonna get him to take action and stand up and fight and die in the process. You see, but he's feeling that fear and he's deciding, I will protect my people or I will die. And that, again, that is looked highly upon by the Valar. That's looked highly upon by the God Force. So you may not even get, and plus, you become a symbol. You die and people remember you and they make movies on you, and you become a symbol for strength, for protection, for care for your people, loving your people. So there you go. There's always a reward. It just may not even be a worldly reward, although a lot of times it is. So yeah, nature loves courage. So yeah, whatever it is that scares you, feel that fear and do it anyway. Yeah. And I'm putting a disclaimer out there, it may lead to your demise depending on what that is. Okay. And I do not recommend, don't write in your will, like, let's say, I don't know, you're gonna go and fight somebody that's invading your country and say, well, I watched a video of this guy and he was talking about feeling the fear and doing it anyway, so if I die in this battle, it's his fault, right? You got to be responsible for your actions. But I'm just saying, it's never a bad idea to be brave and courageous if you really feel like, okay, I must do this. I must do this. There's always growth at the end of it, in my opinion. Okay, that's about it. Thank you for watching. If you feel like your heart is bubbly with love, and you want to express that love in a financial way, you could do so. Down below there is a donation button, but you don't have to do that. I'm just saying, in a financial way you could express that. So there's a link down below in the description for that. I really appreciate anything that comes my way, especially the difficult time that I'm going through at the moment. And I also do one-on-one consultations. If you're interested, there's a link there below in the description. I see you guys in the next video.